Hello, my name's Sarita and I'm speaking to you today from SolHenge, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. Now, what I wanted to share with you today was a meditation which is going to allow you to connect to, perceive more intrinsically and activate your Merkarbah. And your Merkarbah is essentially a star tetrahedron in which your whole body rests, and it works like a light energy field around you, which when activated gives you the ability to ascend into other dimensions. And it does this because it allows you to take in more light frequency information, and in doing so elevate your frequency. So it's also a healing modality in a way, because as you elevate your frequency by activating the Merkarbah, you come into a more refined balance of mind, body and soul, and things that aren't serving you come up and out. So they can't really function within this light body when it's activated. And the Merkarbah has been known about for thousands and thousands of years in all of our ancient traditions, and it's even been used in many of our religions as well. And I myself have worked with Merkarbah for about 5 years in its static form on my shamanic training course. And on my course, we called it something different, but it was still essentially a star tetrahedron. And what I've been discovering of late through listening to the teachings of Drumvolo Melchizedek is that all of us now have in place this energetic form. So we are now all within this static form. And it's really worthwhile going to listen to Drumvolo Melchizedek, because he's been a great advocate and a teacher and trainer of how to create the star tetrahedron for many, many, many years. And he talks about why it's important. But what happened to me recently was I was listening to a documentary by Maureen St. Germain on Gaia. And you can also listen to her on YouTube talking about the Merkarbah. And she said that now what's happening is there is a new technique where you use a second and third Merkarbah energetic forms, the same size and exactly overlaid onto the original static Merkarbah, and you spin one. So you've got one static Merkarbah, and then the second one, which is overlaid, you spin on its vertical axis one way, and then the third one you spin on its vertical axis the other way. So essentially they're spinning on the vertical axis of your pranic tube. And she said it's really important to activate these other two Merkarbahs at this time in order to allow us to move more freely into the fifth dimension. And if you've been listening to my videos, you'll know that coming into fifth dimensional living and being in a fifth dimensional state of being is like being on heaven on earth. And what Maureen St. Germain says is that as you activate these other two Merkarbahs and they begin to spin, that you come into this really refined sense of healing, sense of balance, and you begin to perceive yourself exactly as you are, the truth of who you are as love, and that the field around you of love expands, and this allows you to access the fifth dimension more easily. And so I was listening to Maureen St. Germain, and I decided to go off and do a meditation and see if I could activate and spin these second two Merkarbahs. So I added the two Merkarbahs to the one that I already have in place, which I've been working with for the last 5 years. And I began to spin them, and I felt pretty high at the end of meditation, and that was great. And then I did it maybe another time and another time. And then I did a meditation with my class about 2 days ago, and I taught them how to activate these second two Merkarbahs. And I was just waiting to see what might happen. And something happened this morning, which is why I'm posting this video. And so what happened to me this morning, I was just going about my day. In fact, I was having a client meeting on Zoom with somebody, because I mentor people. And I was chatting away to them, and suddenly I began to tangibly, viscerally see the Merkarbah around me. And it wasn't as tangible as my physical body, or not yet, but what I began to see was that the place where the Merkarbah was around me, I could literally see the energy was denser. It was like it was shimmering in front of me, and it was almost like I was looking through a camera and this thing was about to come into focus, and it was pretty shocking, you know, when you start to see something that you can feel and has been in your mind's eye, but when you start to see it come into focus in your actual reality, it was pretty shocking, but in a good way. And so this is what happened to me today. And so bearing in mind that I have only done this meditation 3 or 4 times, I think this is a pretty incredible response. And so what I perceive was happening to me is that I must have been in the 5th dimension at the moment that I began to tangibly see this Merkarbah trying to come into focus, into my focused awareness. And so this has really inspired me to pass the information on to you, and also to keep going with this meditation, because I'm one of those people who I try lots of different things. I try everything that resonates with me, and I take on board what works for me and I let go what doesn't. And I encourage you all to do the same thing, because as we are elevating our awareness and becoming more and more conscious about who we are, where we're going to, and the nature of reality, it's really important to have tools at your disposal that are going to assist you in this ascension. And obviously we're all sovereign beings, and what will work for one person is not going to work for another. And that's why I always put so many different techniques on this channel. And also personally, some tools work for me for a while, and then new tools come in, and then new tools come in, and then other tools fall away. And this is the nature of evolution, is that things are always changing. You know, the only constant is change. So try this meditation and see what happens to you. And certainly for me, for the next goodly while, I'm going to be working on this meditation and seeing what else comes towards me from activating my Merkarbah light body, essentially the spaceship around me, which is allowing me to transcend and elevate into higher dimensions. So this is how the meditation is going to go roughly. Basically, I'm going to make you all relaxed, and then I'm going to connect you to the earth and stellar stars, which I do a lot in my meditations. You just follow along if you've never done it before. And then I'm going to place you in the form of an octahedron, which is a sacred form which allows you to be in the present moment. And if you don't know what an octahedron is, basically it's a pyramid the right way up and an upside down pyramid like this. And you place yourself inside it, and we'll build the form of the octahedron together. But what we're going to do is, once we've built it, is we're going to allow the two pyramids essentially to merge into each other like this until they form the star tetrahedron with you in the middle. And then once we've got that, that's the static star tetrahedron that everybody has in place. So you're having this perception about that star tetrahedron. And then we're going to call down another star tetrahedron from the cosmos, which is exactly going to overlay the first one, which is going to be the same size. And then we're going to pull up a star tetrahedron from the earth up. Again, it's going to be the same size. It's going to exactly overlay the other two. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spin the second star tetrahedron one way on the vertical axis of our pranic tube. And then we're going to spin the third one the other way on the vertical axis of our pranic tube. And this is quite a complicated meditation, because it's quite difficult to perceive two objects spinning in different directions at the same time, and a third object as static in the middle of them. But don't worry if you can't, get your head around that during the meditation. So long as you set one off spinning one way and then bring your attention and focus on setting the other one spinning the other way, you're good. Basically, they're spinning. And then you can come back to this meditation again and again if you want, and just feel them there and check that they're spinning. And then just allow yourself in your day-to-day life to notice what changes are coming up. And what I've heard is that when you begin to activate this, you know, space traveling light body aspect of yourself, this extension to your consciousness, what you may feel is a sense of isolation as you begin to feel slightly different from other people. You may feel pains in your heart coming up, or trauma coming up, or memories that you've never thought about before, and they're coming up and out because what's happening is the rotation and the activation of these Merkarbahs is healing you essentially, and the only way to heal is to allow things to come up and out. So if you are feeling overwhelming feelings or sad or painful feelings or feelings of isolation, just try to watch them as the observer and be aware that it's a healing process. So you just watch it, observing the process without judgment as a process, and understanding that at some point it will all clear. And you may also find that you are not resonating with things that you used to resonate with. So for example, if you're in a job that you don't really like, it might become really intolerable for you. You might start saying things like, look, the money's not worth it. I want to do something which, you know, feeds my soul. So you may find little changes like this going on, and just observe them and sit with them and watch as the frequency of your being within this activation begins to elevate, and just notice the changes and begin to perceive that you may be spending more and more time in the fifth dimension. So in other words, in heaven on earth as the highest, best version of yourself, because this is what the activation is doing. It's elevating your frequency so that you become more and more who you truly are. And who you truly are is love. So there you go, that's the meditation, and without further ado, we're going to do it. So I would encourage you to stand up or sit up for this meditation if you can, because it requires the focus on the vertical axes, and obviously if we're standing up, it's easier to focus on that. If you can't stand up, then lie down and do it. And when you're ready, we're going to take a breath in and a breath out, and close your eyes. Allowing your attention to connect you to the breath. And feeling this connection ground you and center you into the core of your being. And now we are going to connect ourselves to the earth and stellar stars. So beginning to perceive the stellar star far, far above you up in the heavens. A golden ball of light, cosmic, divine Father energy, and dropping down from this golden ball of light, a golden thread of light, which drops down, down, down through the heavens until it arrives at the crown of your head. And here it melts into your body, following its downward path, connecting every energy center in your body until it arrives at your perineum. And from here it leaves your body, continuing on its downward path until it meets another golden ball of light called the Earth Star, that divine mother energy of Gaia. So just feeling this golden thread and your connection to the earth and stellar stars in this holy trinity with yourself as the divine child. This is your power source. This thread holds you to your place in the world. And now we are going to create the energetic form of the star tetrahedron. 2 pyramids together, one the right way up and one an upside down pyramid. So we're going to place our whole being within this energetic form. And so I want you to imagine that there is an energetic rose above your head upon the thread, and another energetic rose below your feet upon this golden thread. And then 4 roses around your waist, one in front of you about 1 meter away, one to your left, one to your right, and one behind you, equidistant from your body and at waist height. And so now in your mind's eye, you are going to draw lines between these roses to create the form of the octahedron. So consciously drawing lines, connecting all of the roses, and beginning to feel yourself within this energetic form of the present moment. And retaining a light awareness of the golden thread and the earth and stellar stars as well. So just feeling what it is to be within this form. And bringing your awareness now to a dot of present moment attention in the center of your head. And breathing into this dot. Using your breath and your attention to focus yourself and bring yourself into being in the present moment. How easy this is. How simple. And beginning to feel a little smile within you at the ease of sitting within this present moment awareness. And now we are going to begin to earth sip into our heart center. So it's a 4-fold breath. You're going to breathe in energy through your nose, down your body and into your heart center. And then you're going to hold it there. And then you're going to breathe out and at the same time suck up energy from the Earth Star as if through a straw into your heart center, and then hold it there. And we're going to do this for 1 minute, activating our heart centers. Off you go. Feeling your heart center expanding and opening with this conscious, focused attention and the calling in of energy into the center. And finding a natural pause, you are now going to begin a period of Tibetan heart breathing. Breathing the frequency of compassion through your heart center for 1 minute. Off you go. Feeling yourselves activate and expand and energize the electromagnetic field around this heart center. And finding a natural pause, resting your awareness within the heart. And so now we are going to create the first static Merkarbah. So I want you to bring your awareness to the octahedron form that you are within once again. And in your mind's eye, clearly see the right way up pyramid that your top half is encased in, and the upside down pyramid that your lower half is encased in, perceiving them as different shapes. And what you're going to do now is you're going to bring the bottom upside down pyramid upwards and pull the right way up pyramid downwards, so that they begin to merge with one another, one going up and one going down, until the shape becomes a Merkarbah with its center at your heart center. So off you go, beginning to merge these shapes and change them into a Merkarbah form. And now can you expand this form, grow it a little, so that the entire Merkarbah encases your whole body. So growing the Merkarbah a little, so that your whole body is within it. And just spending a few moments here, feeling the frequency of this form, feeling the golden thread and the earth and stellar stars. Noticing any color or texture of this form. Becoming familiar with it, feeling it around you. So this is your static Merkarbah. This Merkarbah rests in this place, holding you. And what we're going to do now is we're going to call in another Merkarbah from the stellar star, down the golden thread, to land and overlay exactly this first Merkarbah. So bringing your awareness up to the stellar star and using your focused intent, you are going to begin to call down another Merkarbah, the exact same size, down towards you along the thread. And although this Merkarbah is the same size, it may have a different quality to it, different texture or colours.
So just pulling this Merkarbah down the thread towards you. And as it arrives, allowing it to overlay exactly your static Merkarbah. So now there are two that your whole body is encased within. So just really becoming familiar with this feeling of being within both of those Merkarbahs. Your static Merkarbah and your cosmic Merkarbah. And now we are going to call up from the Earth Star a third Merkarbah. So again, dropping your awareness to the Earth Star and beginning to call towards you up the golden thread this third Merkarbah, which will be the same size as the other two, and exactly overlay them. Although the colour and the texture of this Merkarbah may be different. So feeling it coming up from the Earth Star, up that golden thread, and exactly overlaying the other two. So this is your Earth Merkarbah. So now just perceiving and feeling and experiencing yourself within these three Merkarbahs. And perceiving also the golden thread. And now we're going to activate the Merkarbah by causing the cosmic and the earth Merkarbahs to spin. So the static Merkarbah will stay in its place, and with your focused intent, you will now cause the cosmic Merkarbah to spin clockwise on the vertical axis of the golden thread. So spinning this Merkarbah on the axis of the golden thread, spinning it clockwise. Feeling this momentum, this activation that you have created. And allowing it to keep spinning indefinitely, you are now going to activate and spin the earth Merkarbah along the vertical axis of the thread anti-clockwise, so that it is spinning in the opposite direction from the cosmic Merkarbah. allowing this momentum, this spin, to continue indefinitely. And so spending a few moments now feeling yourself within this energetic fifth dimensional activated formation, an energetic second skin for you. How does it feel? So just taking a moment to scan your physical being within this activated Merkarbah. To scan your mental, your emotional, your energetic bodies. How do you feel? And now it is time to come back into the room. And as you do so, allowing your intention to keep this activation going indefinitely, so that whenever you recall the symbol of the Merkarbah, you can feel this state of being once again. Become familiar with this energetic second skin that you have created. So gently and slowly coming back to the room and opening your eyes.